Good afternoon and welcome to the first Talking Cafe Live of 2022. I'm Wendy Rudd. Many of you probably already know me from my previous recordings, and I'm really pleased to introduce my colleague, Ali Greed, who is going to learn the ropes with me today. So we'll be gentle. As Monday, the 3rd of January, was Festival of Sleep Day, we've chosen for our topic of discussion today to be about sleep. Now, many of you know that I invariably do a little ditty or a poem to start off with, and today's no different. So I've entitled today's poem as Sleep, Glorious Sleep. Sleep, glorious sleep, how sweet are you? But when it's disrupted, what can you do? Go check out there. There's help to be found, and the advice that's given will be sound. So today this talk is intended for you. It gives advice, tips, and includes a video too. So listen carefully to what is said, and sleep will return when you lay down your head. So we're going to start today's discussion, information really, because we're going to play a little video by a registered dietitian called Tara Venn about 9 foods that can help you get to sleep.
Hi, my name is Tara Venn, registered dietitian, and today I want to share some foods that are good for catching some Z's. First up, chamomile tea. Your grandmother probably told you to drink chamomile tea before bed, and I'm going to tell you the same thing. Chamomile contains apigenin, which binds to receptors in the brain that may promote sleepiness. If you don't like chamomile tea, give passion flower tea a try. Passion flower tea has been studied for its potential to reduce anxiety. Once again, it's the apigenin. Apigenin is not just great for sleepiness, it also can create an overall calming effect. Next up, almonds. Almonds are a great source of melatonin along with magnesium, a mineral that may help sleep quality. Magnesium does this by reducing levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which is known to interrupt sleep. Try eating a handful 2 hours before bed or opting for an almond dessert after dinner. You know how everyone's sleepy after Thanksgiving turkey? Well, turkey is my next recommendation. Turkey contains tryptophan, which increases the production of the sleep-regulating hormone melatonin. Combine that with its protein, which may also help with sleepiness, and you have a powerful recipe for better sleep. My final suggestion is Tart cherry juice. Tart cherries contain a high content of melatonin. Sound familiar? On top of that, tart cherries also contain tryptophan and anthocyanins. These 2 compounds may help the body create melatonin and lengthen its effects. I recommend buying unsweetened tart cherry juice concentrate and taking 2 tablespoons before bed. If it's too sour for you on its own, just mix it with a glass of water. If you want to experience the benefits of these sleep-enhancing foods, try eating or drinking them about 2 to 3 hours before bed. Eating just before bed can cause digestive issues, which would impact your sleep. So give your body some time to digest before turning in. I hope these foods help you get the rest you need, and I will see you next time on another episode of Food Fix.
Hi. Well, we hope you learned something from that. And now we've got all our tummy prepared and we're eating all the right things and behaving. What else can we do to get a more restful night's sleep? So we've got 10 tips that we've come up with between us on how to get a more restful sleep. We start off with keeping regular sleep hours. And by that, what they mean is go to bed at the same time and try and get up at the same time of the day. Your body will actually get into a rhythm and you will sleep better. And choose a time that you know you're going to be feeling tired and sleepy.
And the second thing, you need to create a really restful sleeping environment. Your bedroom should be a very peaceful place for rest and sleep. Check your temperature. You don't want it too hot, don't really want it too cold. Look at the lighting. See if you can control the noise. So your bedroom really helps you fall asleep and, more importantly, to stay asleep. And if you've got a pet that sleeps in the room with you, however lovely that might be. Sometimes you might consider moving it somewhere else. So I know with me, I've got a cat and it crawls on your head in the night and it wakes you up and then takes you a long time to get back to sleep. So try and remove things that might disturb your sleep.
Another idea is to make sure that your bed is comfortable. It's difficult to get a restful night's sleep if your mattress is too lumpy or it's too soft, or the bed is too old and creaks like Billy-O every time you turn over. That could wake you up.
And also exercise regularly. Moderate exercise on a regular basis, such as swimming or just walking, can release all that tension that you've built up in the day before you go to bed. But make sure you don't sort of go to the gym late at night or run before bedtime, because sometimes that'll create far too much adrenaline and that'll be counterproductive and keep you awake. So regular exercise, a nice walk, maybe walk around the block, lovely lung of fresh air will help you sleep better.
Another one is cutting down on caffeine
really
or stimulants in general. That's tea, coffee, the energy drinks, colas. Try and drink less in the evening. Caffeine interferes with the process of falling asleep, and it can also hinder the deep sleep. We'll come up to that later, the different types of sleep. Try having a herbal tea or a milky drink. That will probably stand you in good stead again.
And also with Christmas that we've just had, one of the next tips is don't overindulge. And I know that's really tricky sometimes, especially like I said with Christmas, or there's a party or a special event. But sometimes too much food and alcohol, especially quite late at night, can interrupt your sleep pattern. And I think sometimes alcohol helps you fall asleep initially, but that will disrupt you later on in the evening. So if you're going to have a drink, maybe have it earlier, not just before you go to bed.
And another classic is not smoking. Nicotine, like caffeine, is another stimulant. And it's a known fact that people who smoke do tend to take longer to fall asleep, and they will wake up more frequently in the night and have disruptive sleep.
And another top tip is try and relax before you go to bed. Maybe have a warm bath, listen to some music, do a bit of gentle yoga or relaxation. I know mindfulness is quite a big thing at the moment, so maybe find a mindfulness tape or something like that that you could fall asleep to. Obviously now with all the modern technology, you've got your earbuds and your earphones and things, and you could obviously listen to something like that while you're
not disrupting the person beside you as well. Then,
and I know it's there's a lot of CDs and things out there, sort of relaxation CDs and music, and I think they're quite a good go-to sometimes just as you get into bed.
And if you do keep waking up in the night, maybe something to do. You're laying there and the mind is buzzing. Maybe just writing, everything you have to do, everything that's buzzing in the mind, and planning for the next day, so that you can then go to bed knowing that it's all organized, all sorted, and aid you to going to sleep better.
And I think a big tip is if you can't sleep, get up. If you can't sleep, don't lie there worrying, because I think that makes it worse. You lie there thinking, I need to get to sleep, I need to get to sleep. You watch the clock, you see the time ticking past, but you need to really relax. Do something small, do a little task, get back into bed and see if you can relax again to get some sleep. If you really do find that, you really can't sleep and it's affecting your daily life, that's maybe when you need to look at getting an appointment with the GP or talking to someone to discuss it a little bit more. But I think we all have times when we can't sleep. I know I do, Wendy, and I bet you do too. It's some days things are going on, you've got things in your head and you can't sleep. So I think, it's a one-off sometimes for some people, but if it gets quite regular, then maybe you need to sort of chat to your GP. And that the facts and things that we found were on an NHS website. So the address for that website is www.nhs.uk. Live well, sleep and tiredness /10 tips to beat insomnia. And that's a really useful website to have a look at. There's lots of other sleep tips on there as well. And there's discussions from different GPs, different sleep clinics. So it's well worth a look if you're struggling to sleep. What's up next, Wendy?
Right, well, it's no secret that sleep is one of the most important activities. It's good for your health. And when you're asleep, the bodies take time to repair muscles, grow bones, manage your hormones, sort memories. Sleep can be broadly segmented into different stages. So what we're going to very briefly talk about at the moment is the different stages of sleep. Now, again, we've got some help with this. The stages of sleep. They classify them with NREMs and all of lots of, so you've got the non-REM sleep and then you've got the REM sleep, but we'll keep it very basic. Falling asleep. This is your very first stage. And basically it's a transition from being awake to sleep. And it generally only lasts a few minutes, and it's the lightest stage of sleep. And if you were to wake a person up, say they fell asleep on the settee or something daft like that, they may not even realize. They say to you, well, no, sorry, I actually wasn't sleeping. During this stage, the eye movements are typically slower and begin to roll. The heartbeat and the breathing slow down and the muscles start to relax.
And the next stage of sleep is light sleep. This stage is non-REM sleep and comprises of a large percentage of total sleep time, and is considered a lighter stage of sleep from which you can be woken quite easily. This is the stage that you get to before you enter that real deep sleep. So your body is slowing down, and you're actually starting to sleep and relax. During this stage, your heart rate and your breathing will slow down even further. You won't have any eye movements, and your body temperature will start to drop as you slowly relax and go into light sleep.
And then you will drop into a slow wave sleep. And this is the final stage before you reach REM. And it's the deepest sleep stage. This can also be known as delta sleep. Your body performs a variety of important health promoting tasks in this final non-REM stage. Things like it's harder to wake you up. Your heartbeat and breathing are now at their slowest. Your eyes are still, no movement. Your body is fully relaxed. Delta brain waves are present, hence they also call it delta sleep. There's tissue repair and growth and cell regeneration happening as well. And your immune system strengthens.
And then there's REM sleep. There are two phases of REM sleep, phasic and tonic. Phasic REM sleep contains bursts of rapid eye movement, while tonic REM sleep doesn't. REM is the primary dreaming stage of sleeping. So during this stage, your eye movements become rapid, breathing and heart rate increases and becomes more variable. Muscles become paralyzed and twitches may occur. I think we've all had that feeling where you feel you're falling and everything sort of goes, ooh, so your muscles are twitching. And your brain activity is markedly increased.
So, bear with me, that's us coming back in. Oh no, that's us there coming back in. Sorry about that.
I think that's fascinating.
It is,
about all the stages of sleep. I think you go to bed and you just go to sleep, but we all have to go through a pattern of different sort of stages of falling into that deep sleep. And I think deep sleep doesn't seem to be a very long part of sleeping.
And it's and when you are sleeping, especially if you're dreaming and you're having a good dream, you want to keep it going, don't you?
Don't wake up.
You are conscious, but then when you wake up, you forget what you dreamt about. It's really quite. Yeah. So the other thing we did, because there's lots of sort of seriousness about it as well, we thought we'd pop in some fun facts. So we did some scurrying around and learning. And here we go, just random little facts that we've come up with. We know it's important, but did you know that a human sleeps 1/3 of its life compared to a cat who sleeps 2/3 of its life? And then you get other animals such as koalas and bats and like, they can sleep up to 22 hours.
Wow. Gosh, hardly worth waking up.
And that's just to eat.
Yeah. And newborn babies need roughly 14 to 17 hours of sleep, while teenagers require 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night. Or we've probably all had teenagers and we know they probably would sleep 22 hours a day like a koala or a bat. But most adults need about 7 to 9 hours. That's about the general range. But I think I found as I've got older, I need less sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I feel like sometimes, 9 hours seems too long, and I need to get up and do things, make the most of the day.
That's when the realization comes, when you think, your parents were always so good at getting up early, and then you suddenly realize, well, actually, it's because they're wide awake, so they've had enough. Sleep deprivation, though, can have a hugely negative effect on our health. Even as little as 24 hours without sleep can actually have a significant impact on your mood, your concentration levels. If you've ever watched those programs on TV, where literally your cognition, everything just totally falls down, and you have an altered perception.
And energy levels naturally dip at 2 parts of the day, between 12 and 2 and 8 and 9 p.m. So this explains why you have post-lunch fatigue. So you've eaten and you're sleepy. I know when I was at school and in lectures, they always called it the graveyard shift, because all the students would be half asleep. So that explains why some people have a little nap during the day, because your energy levels will dip. So
something I actually didn't realise, a little nugget I pulled out, was, did you realise high altitudes can actually have a negative impact on your sleep?
Gosh, don't go climbing any mountains.
So, but on the reverse of that, if you lived in a high altitude area and you went on holiday to a lower altitude area, does that mean you keep England? Who knows? Who knows? That's right.
Should we try that out?
Let's go on a holiday somewhere nice and high.
Up a mountain and then down a valley. Also, there's still so much to learn about sleep. And the biggest thing we know, it's crucial to your good health and as crucial as good nutrition and exercise. And we've also seen how all those bits have been included in our little bit of a discussion today. Eating well and getting exercise aids sleep. So they all go together. So all those things sort of work together.
I'm just trying to read down the comments. Thank you, Barbara, for joining us. And she's put up, yes, room temperature effects on sleep too. The cooler, the better. So that is...
yes, I always sleep with the window open. I can't sleep with the
funny
window
enough,
closed.
I'm fresh air. We say this is an age thing, isn't it?
It is.
Fresh air, keep it open and warm.
Definitely.
We did very quickly look at sleep disturbances, didn't we?
We did.
Because there seems to, looking at this, there only seem to be a very minority of what we call serious issues, insomnia being one of them, and that is literally where you have difficulty falling to sleep. Some people have trouble, others are unable to stay asleep, and it's actually causes daytime sleepiness and fatigue, and it is a diagnosable complaint of sleep.
And sleep apnea, that's an obstructive sleep apnea. It's a condition which stops you breathing during sleep. So there's periods in your sleep where you have no breathing, and that's called apnea, and the airways of the throat sort of narrow. So it's like insomnia, where it's a condition that can really negatively affect your sleep, because you're obviously shocked awake because your airway is struggling to breathe.
And then you've got the restless leg syndrome, which it's a neurological disorder that causes uncomfortable feelings in the leg, which occur in the evening as bedtime approaches. So that when the individual are resting or they're trying to fall asleep, they often have trouble getting enough sleep because of these symptoms.
And shift work disorder. Apparently, that's a condition that commonly affects people that work outside a regular 9-to-5 schedule. This disorder can imbalance the natural circadian rhythm of sleep and your wake cycle. So people with this are at higher risk of daytime sleepiness and health issues because their body clock is just sort of totally out.
And then finally is narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is a chronic central nervous system disorder that causes extreme daytime sleepiness with sleep attacks, along with poor sleep at night. Type 1 narcolepsy also causes cataplexy, which is a sudden physical collapse caused by the loss of muscle control. Again, if a lack of sleep is persistent and it's affecting your daily life, the impact is really, quite severe, then do make an appointment, go and see your GP and discuss it.
So I think, you know, we've discussed quite a few issues now surrounding sleep, some good ideas to help people sleep, some problems that people may have, things that you should eat before you go to bed, maybe. And I think it's huge. I didn't realise there was such a massive thing that impacted sleep.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
when we decided, we spotted that it was, you know, Festival of Sleep. Oh, that sounds really, you know, something we can. And then we started to explore it, and we thought, wow, this actually is a really big subject. And what we would quite like to do in the future is actually get some of the groups, because of the period of time with Christmas and New Year and everything happening, we were unable to invite any guests on, but it certainly woke us up to what is out there and knowledge that is available and information. And we would actually like to get one of the groups to join us in one of our sessions later in the year to tell us how they help and what support is out there.
Yeah, that's good. Can we just go to this tip that Barbara's put?
What have we got?
She says your bladder keeps you awake, and that's quite a fair point, Barbara. It does.
Talking of which, finally, what we've actually got is tips on how to get quality sleep.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like condensing everything we've talked about into a few bullet points, isn't it? So I think practicing good sleep hygiene is the best way to get quality of sleep. So here are some ways you can improve your sleep hygiene. So the first one is spend some time out in the sun during the day. And today it's glorious. You can probably see the sun coming in on me today. Exposing your body to natural light can help you maintain that healthy circadian rhythm, which we all need to get a good night's sleep.
And because it's so sunny and wonderful, exercise, move the body throughout the day. Getting at least one exercise or movement session. So it doesn't have to be anything, you know, over the top, just above and beyond your normal. It's a great way to improve your quality of sleep.
And limit your nap time to no more than 20 to 30 minutes. There are loads of benefits of napping, but if you nap for too long, then obviously it's going to affect your sleep when you eventually go to bed for your proper night's sleep, and it can leave you wide awake. So sort of try and limit your nap time if you can.
And we've already covered very briefly is avoiding the stimulants and certain foods before you go to bed. Caffeine, nicotine, and alcohol, they all interrupt your sleep, as can eating too late, actually, because that will cause indigestion and stomach upset. And again, it will disrupt your sleep.
Limit your screen time before you go to sleep. TVs, phones, and other electronic devices emit blue light, which can interrupt your hormones that help you fall asleep. And I think we've all probably said to our children, turn that phone off, turn that TV off, not because we want to be grumpy, but because we know that that light just keeps them awake and stops them sleeping.
And we've already touched lightly on creating the comfortable bedroom, investing in a high quality mattress, decent pillows, blankets that keep you warm enough without overheating you, and other relaxing bedroom items. So whether that's dark curtains, having the bedroom is the first room you see when you wake up, and it's the last room you see as you go to sleep. Why wouldn't you want a nice bedroom?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you invest? Nobody else sees the room. It's not for anybody else. It's for you.
Yeah.
So make it your little dream haven. So when you're going in there, it automatically puts a smile on your face and you just want to go and snuggle down. That's right.
Exactly. So incorporating all these tips slowly over time can improve your sleep. But if you're still having trouble falling or staying asleep, it may be time to visit the doctor to discuss some more options. So I think we've covered lots of different things, haven't we, today?
Yeah.
And you sleep for such a long part of your day, really.
It's a third of your life. Third of your life, as we found out.
Sleep.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, and condensing everything we've talked about together, getting enough sleep is important for promoting health activities like digestion, growth, and memory. Certain sleep disorders like insomnia can cause poor sleep, and it really stops you functioning through the day. And the best thing you can do to improve your sleep is to address any underlying conditions and work on your sleep hygiene. That's really important to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah. We haven't touched on, but I'm sure everybody's all aware of, there are things you can do to help you sleep, like when you've had your hot bath, people buy things like lavender mist.
Oh, yeah, lavender's lovely, isn't
it?
it?
Lavender is known to promote
Yeah, it does.
You know,
Yeah, it's very
so
relaxing, isn't it?
and again, if you go online, ask the questions, there's a mine of information out there for you.
Yeah.
And that just leaves us to say, I hope you've learned something today. Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next Wednesday, usual time for the broadcast. Until then, Ali
Bye.
saying goodbye.
Bye. Take care. Good night.
And I'm saying good night. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.